You're lying in the dark, the sheets are soaked in sweat, and despite being utterly exhausted, your brain refuses to shut off. For millions of women, the physical toll of a failing internal thermostat and painful intimacy is a nightly reality. This timeline charts a typical woman's lifespan, and it reveals a startling mathematical reality. Menopause is frequently described as a brief phase at age 51. In reality, it is a three-stage transition that often begins in a woman's early 30s. These symptoms often persist for decades. A woman can spend up to a third of her entire life navigating over 50 separate physical and emotional disruptions, from erratic mood swings to severe memory problems. When confronted with a biological disruption of this scale, the common advice is often to buy a desk fan or start dressing in layers. These are surface-level reactions to a deep internal shift. Navigating a decades-long transition requires addressing the failing internal ecosystem at its root, rather than endlessly chasing individual symptoms. This chart tracks internal levels of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Instead of a predictable downward curve, they fluctuate violently. This erratic drop sends a shockwave to the hypothalamus, your internal thermostat, tricking it into misfiring and falsely registering that your core temperature is skyrocketing. To compensate, your brain triggers a sudden release of heat, flooding your system and resulting in the relentless heat of hot flashes and night sweats. Because this heat originates from a neurological misfire, external cooling methods like fans or cold water are biologically useless. Wind cannot change your hormone levels. This hormonal crash extends far beyond the brain, causing physical, structural changes within the reproductive system. This cross-section compares healthy tissue to the effects of estrogen depletion. On the right, the vaginal walls physically thin out and become brittle. This halts natural lubrication, making intimacy painful and suppressing sexual desire. Artificial lubricants might reduce immediate friction, but they do nothing to reverse the underlying tissue degradation or bring back a woman's natural libido. Eventually, this internal chaos impacts the body's metabolism and energy reserves. Erratic hormone levels act like a heavy brake on your metabolism. The internal engine processing your energy is forced into a sluggish, labored crawl. This results in a domino effect of physical fatigue, sudden mood swings, and stubborn weight gain despite a consistent diet. Standard advice to diet and exercise often fails here because it ignores the foundational hormonal imbalance trapping the body in a state of exhaustion. Lasting relief requires regulating hormone production at the root level, rather than treating individual symptoms in isolation. That biological regulation is the goal of Provestra. It is a daily, 100% natural formulation, engineered specifically to gently stimulate the body's own hormone production. The formula utilizes 18 botanical ingredients, such as black cohosh. Clinical research shows this plant can actively stimulate estrogen, directly addressing the underlying deficiency. Watch these chaotic data lines from earlier stabilize into a rhythmic wave as internal production is stimulated. The hypothalamus cools, lubrication returns, and metabolism reawakens. In a survey of 488 women, 97.74% reported their overall sexual satisfaction increased. With a stabilized hormone supply, women can maintain vibrant energy, deep sleep, and pain-free intimacy well into their 70s. Menopause does not have to be a decades-long sentence of exhaustion. By regulating the internal ecosystem, women can preserve their physical vitality and regain their sense of control.